In this video, I'm going to share 5 key lessons that took me from being an aspiring composer and percussionist to an award-winning public artist. After graduating from conservatory, my journey was just beginning. I graduated with a percussion performance degree, but I was really curious about composition, about project design, and about connecting with and accessing new audiences. I spent a few years exploring in Sweden, creating projects, cutting albums, and then landed in Boston, Massachusetts about 10 years ago, where I run my own business and teach creative entrepreneurship at Berklee College of Music. So when I'm talking to young composers, I have 5 key elements that I want them to think about. The first is to get inspired. That is really simple to think about, but I want you to get inspired by genres and by artists that are different from the field in which you're living. So for me, I'm a contemporary classical artist and musician, composer. I listen to every genre alive. I love pop, I love hip hop, I love jazz, I love experimental and avant-garde, and all of these moments of inspiration kind of feed my energy. So when I am looking at a blank page, I'm hearing a lot of different genres and spaces in my mind versus staying on one path. The manifestation of the inspiration might shift and not really be on the nose. Like, I don't want to sit in the audience and be like, wow, Maria's really inspired by Taylor Swift today. But I do want to feel this essence that your music is of the world and is of the world right now. That's what's so beautiful about creating and listening to music that is created right now. It is a mirror of what's going on. I remember that I went on my honeymoon to Bali, and when I came home, all I could hear was gamelan in my head. All I could hear was like repetitive cycles and metallic sounds. And the next piece I wrote was like, I had to write for vibraphone. I was writing a lot of interlocking patterns. And while I wasn't sitting down saying, I'm going to be inspired by Balinese gamelan, I know it just organically grew from within me because I was being very true to all of these genres and all of the experiences that I was having as a human in that moment. So here's the second key point. Copy yourself. And what I mean by this is don't try to reinvent yourself with every project. You will grow your voice and you'll grow your sound over time, but it's okay to look back and say, I really liked that about the last project, or I really liked that about a piece I wrote 4 years ago. It is okay to pull from yourself. All of the great composers do that. All of the great composers are iterating on melodies, on rhythmic, on harmonies, on the complexities that they have created in the past. They're just recreating in that moment. And they're recreating it, getting inspired by the world at that moment, while also honing in and really allowing themselves to be themselves. So the third lesson is to create some sort of sonic vision board, which I know that language doesn't make any sense, but I hope you can imagine what I mean. Before I start a project, I sit down and I pull and I actually make a Spotify list on here's all the pieces that I'm really excited about. Here are some artists that are just really inspiring me. And I create this playlist and I listen to it for days before I even put pen to paper, because I just want to live in this moment of here are the sound spaces that I love, here's some rhythms that I love, here are some melodies that I love. And by sitting in that sound vision board, you actually have places to lift off from versus kind of grabbing something from thin air. So the fourth tool I'd like to share with you is write with the players in mind, or write with the studio musicians in mind. Write with the people that are going to actually make the sound in your head. Now, I know you might not know exactly who that human will be at the beginning of the project, but I want you to sit and visualize them playing. Visualize them playing. And I think it's really important. It's something that's true to me as a percussionist, because so much of our practice is mechanical and is kind of this movement-based art. So I want you to think about that regardless if you're writing for percussion or violin or voice or guitar. See the person playing the music as you are writing. It'll kind of ground it in that human experience even more. And the last tool that I would like to share with you is learn how to pitch your project. It is really essential that we try to take this artistic, this sonic, this intangible art that we are so passionate about and land it in language. We have to be able to articulate what we're trying to achieve, what we're trying to evoke or get our listeners to feel through language. And it can be a bit of a challenge when you're so deep in the artistic practice, but I find it to actually feed my artistic practice so much is if while I'm creating, I'm also thinking about why am I doing this? Who am I doing this for? Why should I be doing this? And who should want to listen? If I'm thinking about that, I'm actually creating a deeper and more powerful piece of art because I'm trying to understand how it's gonna live in the world at the same time as making that actual piece. So to help you with this last step, to help you pitch your projects, I've created a resource called Perfect the Pitch. It's a free workbook that takes you through the steps to connect with your listener, to try to land those large commissions, to land those collaborations, to get that orchestra to play your piece, or to get that public art entity to support your work. Click the link below, you can get it in your inbox, and I want to see you out there pitching your projects and being successful. So if you really hone in on these 5 tools, getting inspired by different genres, copying yourself, creating a vision board, keeping the humans in mind as you write, and perfecting your pitch, I really think that you're on your path for success. Now your path though is going to be different, and own that difference and own that journey because it is a really beautiful journey. Thanks for watching and we'll see you around.